நாம்பிரண்டு முடனே ஆசர நல்ல நல்ல அவை நல்ல நல்ல அடியாரவர்க்கு மிகவே. திருச்சிற்றம்பலம்.
Come, Shankar, drink your milk.
No, Ma, no.
Come, I'll tell you a story.
Hey, story.
You hear the story and drink this milk.
That's a good idea. Tell me a nice story, okay?
Okay.
Once upon a time, during the 7th century, there was a little boy, just like you.
Oh, I love stories about children just like me. Tell me more.
Sure. A long time ago, there lived a Brahmin by name 𝗖𝗥𝗘𝗪 in the old city of 𝗖𝗥𝗘𝗪 in Tamil Nadu. He and his wife Bhagavati Ammal were great Shiva Bhaktas, and they used to pray to the presiding deity of the town, Lord 𝗖𝗥𝗘𝗪.
Lord Shiva is also known by the name 𝗖𝗥𝗘𝗪, right?
Yes, Kanna. In the course of time, by the grace of Lord Shiva, Bhagavati Ammal was blessed with a baby boy, and he was named Sambandar. Sambandar was very attached to his father. One day, when little Sambandar was 3 years old, he insisted on accompanying his father to the temple. The father was reluctant to take him along, so he said no.
Oh, did Sambandar get angry when his father refused to take him along?
No, Kanna. He cajoled his father into taking him along.
Oh, what happened next?
I'll tell you. So, when they reached the temple, 𝗖𝗥𝗘𝗪 wanted to take a holy dip in the Brahmatirtham, the holy pond in the temple. He left Sambandar on the banks and told him to be there until he returned. As Sambandar watched, his father would take a dip in the pond and reappear again.
Did little Sambandar try to get into the water?
Not really, but when 𝗖𝗥𝗘𝗪 decided to hold his breath for a little longer under the water, little Sambandar was unable to see his father. He panicked and cried out, "Amma, Appa," in anguish.
I know. I'll also feel very scared if I can't see you or Appa when we are out somewhere. Then what happened?
Immediately, Lord Shiva, who was in his celestial rounds with Parvati Devi, heard the cry, and the divine parents decided to shower their grace upon their little child, for he had called them. At that moment, Parvati Devi descended to where Sambandar was and fed him milk from a golden cup. Sambandar was elated and stopped crying because he was seeing the Jagannatha, who is kindness personified.
Parvati Devi, the mother goddess, is so kind, Amma, just like you.
In the meantime, 𝗖𝗥𝗘𝗪 had finished his holy dip and came up. As he came, he saw milk drops near little Sambandar's mouth and asked him who had given him the milk. Sambandar just smiled, remembering the kind face of Parvati Devi. The father got furious and took a small stick, threatening to beat the child, since he was worried that Sambandar had unintentionally stolen milk from someone.
Did little Sambandar mention to his father that it was Mata Parvati who fed him milk?
Yes. Just then, Sambandar started to describe who he had seen. He then sang 10 verses continuously. As the boy sang, the people there and the father were awestruck. So, the people named this child Jnana Sambandar, as little Sambandar was endowed with divine knowledge, and with due respect he was called Tirugnana Sambandar. He lived to sing many songs called Tevarams about the Lord's glory, and also helped the people get Lord Shiva's grace.
Now tell me, what did you understand from the story?
Lord Shiva and Parvati Devi are omnipresent, and they come to the rescue of their bhaktas the moment they are called for with Bhakti.
How wonderful, Shankar!
Shreyas, come drink your milk.
Not now, Amma. Today, during the lunch break, my friend had shared a story of Tirugnana Sambandar.
First have your milk.
It was about how he got his name with the divine blessings of Lord Shiva and Mata Parvati Devi.
Sounds interesting.
He also told that many miracles were performed at a very young age by Tirugnana Sambandar. Do you know any of the stories, Amma?
Oh yes, I'll tell you a story of how Tirugnana Sambandar revived a girl by name Pumavai.
Reviving means bringing back to life. Am I correct, Amma?
Yes, you're correct. Now let's hear the story. Shivanasan was a wealthy man who lived with his beautiful daughter Pumpavai in Tirumailapur. He was an ardent devotee of Lord Shiva. As the marvels performed by Tirugnana Sambandar reached him, his admiration for the young prodigy grew tremendously, and with such devotion to the Lord in his mind and heart, he promised his beautiful daughter Pumpavai in marriage to Tirugnana Sambandar.
So, in this story, we'll come to know how and whom did Tirugnana Sambandar marry?
Not exactly. Let's continue with the story. One morning, when Pumpavai was 7 years old, she went along with her friends to the garden to pluck flowers. In the garden, she was bitten by a venomous snake and she died.
Oh, how sad.
Yes, but her grief-stricken father did not lose faith in the Lord. He collected his child's bones and ashes in an earthen pot and waited for Tirugnana Sambandar's arrival and to fulfill his promise that he had made in his heart.
The promise to get his daughter married to Tirugnana Sambandar, how could he hope to do that?
As days passed by, Tirugnana Sambandar came to Tirumailapur. He was 16 years old then. The overjoyed father Shivanasan, with great reverence, invited the young prodigy to his abode and spoke of his beautiful daughter and showed him the earthen pot.
So what did Tirugnana Sambandar do? Tell me, Amma.
Tirugnana Sambandar had the pot brought out and placed it in front of Lord Kapali at the present-day Mylapore temple. He looked intently at the pot for some time, meditating upon the Lord. Then he called out Pumpavai's name and started to sing the hymn, starting with the words Madita Punnai. The first 3 lines of the hymn would describe the various festivals of Kapalishwara temple and the beauty of the Lord. The last line of each hymn meant, "You have gone away not seeing all this, Pumpavai."
Was Pumpavai revived to life?
As he sang the 10th hymn, the girl rose out of the pot as a 12-year-old. She was so beautiful that words couldn't describe her. The devotees who had gathered there were overjoyed and sang the praise of the Lord.
What a great saint Tirugnana Sambandar was, Amma. I loved hearing this story.
I'm glad that you enjoyed the story.
Shanmukha, come. Time to drink milk. Amma, not now. I just listened to the Meenakshi Pancharatnam Stotram on a Vidya Parampara channel and saw the story of Goddess Meenakshi. It's such a divine feeling to listen to the Meenakshi Pancharatnam. Apart from the Meenakshi Amman temple, I have read that the Tirugnana temple in Madurai is also very special. Can you tell me more about Tirugnana?
Yes, sure. Tiruvedakam in Tamil literally means a respectful home for palm leaf. The Edu and the place are strongly associated with Saint Tirugnana Sambandar, who was the first of Thevaram trio.
Tirugnana Sambandar? Wow! My friends Shankar and Shreyas were talking about him in school today. Tell me more.
During the 7th century, when the entire Pandyan kingdom was under the influence of Jainism, Kon Pandyan's queen, Mangayarkarasi, a Chola princess who was steeped in Saivism, wanted the ruler Arikesari Paramkusumaravarman to follow Saivism. And for this, she sought the help of great Saivate saints, Appar and Tirugnana Sambandar, who were staying at a mandapam adjoining the Meenakshi Sundareshwara temple in Madurai.
Was the queen successful in her mission?
Now listen to me to find out more. When Appar and Sambandar accepted the queen's invitation and came to Madurai, the mandapam where they were staying caught fire.
Was this intentionally planned for Kon Pandyan to realize the divinity of the Lord?
Yes, Sambandar therefore sang, Payyave சென்று பாண்டியர்க்கு ஆகவே. Let the fire catch the Pandyan. The heat of the fire that engulfed the mandapam got redirected towards the king, and Kon Pandyan was afflicted with heat boils.
Oh, that must be really painful. What happened to King Kon Pandyan?
The next morning, Sambandar went to the king, and it was decided that Sambandar and the Jains would sit on either side of the king and use medicine and mantras to cure his affliction. When the Jains touched the king's body with peacock feather and intoned some mantras, the burning sensation became worse. Sambandar applied vibhuti and sang Mandiramavadu Neeru and cured the king not only of the burning sensation but straightened his back too.
What was the song that you sang, Amma?
Mandiramavadu Neeru Vanavar Meladu Neeru Sundaramavadu Neeru Tudikapaduvadu Neeru Tandiramavathu Neeru Samayathil ullathu Neeru Sattuvar vaai umai pangan Thiru Alavayan Thiruneere.
That's really a miracle, and it would have been possible only through sheer devotion.
Yes, the Jains countered the Sambandar had done some magic. So it is they who asked for 2 competitions with Sambandar.
What was the competition about?
The competition was Annalvadam or test by fire and Punalvadam or test by water. The palm leaf bundles carrying his hymns and those of others' literature were set on fire. Sambandar's verses survived. Set afloat in Vaigai, his scripts were carried safely to the bank where an idol of Ganesha stood. The grateful saint called the place 𝗖𝗥𝗘𝗪.
So, this shows that Sambandar had clearly won the competition.
Yes, he did win, and the Pandyan king became an ardent 𝗖𝗥𝗘𝗪.
What a heroic saint Tirugnana Sambandar was, Amma. I'll tell all my friends about his adventures in school tomorrow.
I'm glad that you enjoyed the story, Shanmukha. Dear audience, we hope you enjoyed the story too.
Dhanyavadaha.
திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். தோடுடைய செவியன் விடையேறியோர் தூவெண்மதி சூடி. தோடுடைய செவியன் விடையேறியோர் தூவெண்மதி சூடி. காடுடைய சுடலை பொடி பூசியன் உள்ளங்கவர் கள்வன். காடுடைய சுடலை பொடி பூசியன் உள்ளங்கவர் கள்வன். ஏடுடைய மலரான் முனை நாட்பணிந்தேத்த அருள் செய்த. பீடுடைய பிரமாபுரமேவிய பெம்மானிவனன்றே. அருள் செய்த பெம்மானிவனன்றே. அருள் செய்த பெம்மானிவனன்றே. திருச்சிற்றம்பலம்.